He has spoken on the topics faith, family and freedom in Cuba, Belgium, Brazil, Congo, UK and all over the USA to crowds from 14 to 40,000. International leadership speaker, trainer and coach. Author of Learn to Raw Leadership, Attitude Hack, Live a More Excellent Life, 5 Battle Strategies of a Victorious Warrior. 2021 President's Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. Founding partner of the John Maxwell team. Toastmaster International Speech Competition semi-finalist. Founder of Tell It Like It Is TV, ThatGuyRocks.com and ThatGuySpeaks.com. Creator of Story Power TV, Transforming Grace TV, and Leading Leaders Podcast. Producer of 4 TV programs and podcasts for Liftable TV and World Trumpet Television as well as multiple social media channels. Please help me welcome J. Loren Norris.
I was in middle school the first time a guy asked me this question. I thought it was pretty profound. At the time, I'm not sure I understood it. I thought it was a funny joke, but the more I think about it, the more profound it is. Here was his question. Which do you think is a bigger problem in the world today? Ignorance or apathy? And sadly, in middle school, I had to ask him to explain the word apathy before I knew exactly what the joke was. And when I asked him, after he explained the meaning of the word, he said the most common answer is, I don't know and I don't care. That's what I want to talk about in this episode of Leading Leaders. Subscribe now for our extensive video library of leadership lessons promoting faith, family, and freedom. I'm J. Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. And perhaps you've had that answer to that question yourself before as well. What is the greater trouble in the world? Ignorance or apathy? And if you're asked that question, you might even have a very similar answer. I don't know, and I don't care. And I want to tell you, as leaders, that is absolutely the worst place to be. Maybe you've had a breakup in your life, maybe as a teenager, maybe gone through a divorce or had a job come to an end that you didn't really want to come to an end. And when you look back on it honestly, what you find is that the reason it came to an end is because you got to a place where you were neither hot nor cold. You neither absolutely hated the job nor absolutely loved the job, neither absolutely hated the boyfriend or the girlfriend or absolutely loved them. You were just apathetic. You just didn't care. There was no empathy, there was no sympathy, there was no pity. It just didn't matter. Feelings were numb, emotions were gone, thoughts fleeting. Just whatever. And I can tell you, as a leader, there is no worse place to be than to be in the place where your emotions have unplugged you from the relationships that are necessary. Sometimes stress will do that. Sometimes frustration will do that. Sometimes ignorance will do that. You're not aware of what's going on around you. A lack of self-awareness can be an enormous problem for a leader and for people on the team. Sometimes you just have had too much. You're overwhelmed. It's time to take a break. But I can tell you, as a leader, if you don't consciously and intentionally avoid apathy, apathy will sneak up on you and destroy you. You'll wake up one day and ask, what have I been working for? What have I been doing this for? Some people call it the midlife crisis. I'm sure there are many names for it. But apathy as a leader is a destructive thing. It causes you to unplug from the people around you. It causes you not to care about the outcome of events or strategies or tactics. It causes you not to care, emotionally care, no sympathy or no empathy for the tragedies of the lives going on around you. Now, I can be honest and say it doesn't take much looking at our society today, all the news media, all the reports that we get, all the fear-mongering that we experience. It doesn't take much at all to reach a place of emotional overwhelm. You're supposed to be concerned about this and that and the other, and all of the things that you're concerned about are too much for anyone to be concerned about. It's too much to be worried about. And sometimes, sadly, sometimes those things that we're told to be worried about, they're made up. I mean, their fears, their angers, their conscious destruction. And they're really none of our business, or they're fabricated. They don't exist at all. That's the worst kind. But see, there are powers that be that know that if leaders, if people who are willing to engage are apathetic, then they're useless. They're harmless. They're like that old dog laying on the porch. He might stand up long enough to bark at you, but if he had to chase you off the porch, that ain't happening. He's going to lay back down and go back to his nap. Fat, dumb, and happy. Yeah. That's the way many people who would like to wreck society would love for those who would consider themselves to be a force to be reckoned with. They're better off if they're apathetic than if they are a force to be reckoned with. I was just listening to Dennis Prager today. Dr. Dennis Prager's, he's a thinker, he's a philosopher, he's a religious Jew, more of a religious Jew than a cultural Jew, or maybe it's the other way around, more of a cultural Jew than a religious Jew. Very educated man. But in his thinking, somebody asked him, are you more of an optimist or more of a pessimist? And his answer was fascinating. He said, I'm neither an optimist nor a pessimist. Because as an optimist, I believe everything is going to work out just fine. I don't need to fight. As a pessimist, I believe it's all going to be a disaster. It doesn't matter what I do. And so there's no reason to fight. He said, I'd rather be neither, so that I stay engaged in what's going on in the world around me. I've got to be consciously aware of the problems that I'm facing. Dear leader, let me be honest with you and tell you, you are intentionally being bombarded with all kinds of nonsense to bring your emotions and your psychology to overwhelm. It's a psyop. It's a psychological operation for psychological warfare designed to keep you so emotionally overwhelmed that you will not engage. The people around you need you to thwart that effort. They need you to be aware of what's going on. They need you to step up and say, nope, I'm not going to fall for it. I realize what is actual trouble and what is fake trouble. I recognize the paper tigers from the real tigers. I recognize the straw man, and I'm not falling for it. I'm not going to become apathetic, uncaring, unaware, aloof, like the old dog on the front porch. No, I'm going to stay engaged, like the young dog hiding under the porch that you didn't know was there. I'm going to be ready when the time comes to step up and defend myself, my family, and those that I care about. Whatever that means to you, avoid apathy. Don't allow yourself to be uncaring. Don't allow yourself to be disengaged. Don't allow yourself to be like those who wouldn't engage before World War II started. Go back and look at the time frame of all the things that happened, the multiple layers of the changes of society just before World War II. Maybe start in your history books around, say, 1933, 1934, and look at the changes of society and ask yourself, do these look familiar? It's been almost 100 years. It's a cycle. Are you engaged? Are you prepared to be engaged? Or are you unplugged, disassociated, apathetic? As a leader, you can't afford to be apathetic, and the world cannot afford for you to be apathetic. I don't care how large your influence is. If there's anyone listening to you, if there's anyone making decisions because of your insights, your wisdom, your experiences, then you are a leader, and the world needs you. We have a drought of leadership all over the world right now, if you hadn't noticed, not just in political circles, but at every level. We need you as a leader to care, to have compassion, to have passion, to stand up, to speak out, to share your mind, to share your ideas. We cannot afford for you as a leader to be apathetic. There are those who want you apathetic and uncaring. I'm not one of them. I'm challenging you right now. Divide in your own mind the paper tigers from the real tigers. Understand what is psyops and what is real challenge that needs to be addressed. And don't let the fake psychology, the fake warnings, the fake problems, the fake industrial issues, don't allow those to become the things that take away your attention or overwhelm your emotion. We cannot afford for you to be apathetic. Engage. I'm J. Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day.
Loren is a master teacher on storytelling, and I learned so much. I'm really going to have to sit down and go back through everything, and I think I might have to have some more coffees with Loren, but it was totally worth my time, and I really highly recommend it if you're looking to grow your ministry, grow your business, grow your career. Loren will serve you well.